It's been up there for 5 or 10 minutes. I'm getting it really hot. Oh wow, look at that. Did you see that? That looked pretty hot to me. Awesome. Perfect. All right, good to go. Took about 10 minutes. Check this out. Serious power. You can kind of see the focal area slipping around the edge. This is from yesterday. First egg I ever cooked. First thing I ever cooked on it, actually. That's 4 feet up to the bottom of the pan, and the stand is 4.5 feet tall. Super bright and super even. Real easy build, by the way. I'll give you a couple of quick pictures here just so you have something to visualize, and we'll get to the build in a couple of minutes. It's basically just plywood poster board in the mirror. Now it's about 10 o'clock. Check out the focal point on that now. It's so bright I can hardly look at it. Got the water up to 180 Fahrenheit, so just a little below boiling, but super hot. Here's some basic information on catenary curves, how they're formed and what they do. Just pause the player if you want to read this. And here's just a few advantages of the catenary solar cooker over a regular parabolic one, depending on what you're looking for. These are all catenary curves, by the way, but the only one that works for cooking is the really shallow ones. Just remember though that it has to be very, very shallow for it to work as a cooker. And here's why. Here's the overlay of the two curves and the usable area between the two lines. If you want more of a deep dish cooker, you got to go with a parabola. That's the exact curve I used, 4-foot focal length. Okay, now I'm going to show you the focal areas of both. Look very carefully at that picture, and then compare it to that. And there's a side-by-side. Just for reference, let me show you what a 3-foot diameter dish can do. This is the parabolic dish, but it's all the same. You could use a 3-foot catenary dish, and it should get the same action. The lights just spread out a little bit more with those again. And that's some serious power. About 2.5 times more, a little less than 2.5 times. With a 3-foot dish, check out the singe on this. Nice. It came out great. Takes about the same amount of time as your kitchen stove too, with this one. Perfect. You can tell the heat is a little bit centrally located because of the 4-inch focal point. But go with catenary and then you'll have the 8-inch area. If you look close, you can actually see a point on the catenary. But there it is with a yardstick, and nice and even on the bottom. Here's a few more stats. Power outputs a 2, 2.5, and 3 foot dish. Average and theoretical max. And how they cook. A good comparison is these 12-volt frying pans and saucepans. The 2-foot dish cooks pretty similar to those. I've done separate vids on these pans, by the way. They're pretty cool because you don't need a battery. You can plug them into your car, but you can also just plug them into a solar panel with no battery at all. A 3-foot catenary, by the way, should work just as well as this 3-foot parabolic. Again, the wattage is the same on both, so it'd be 707 watts max, just like the parabolic. It's just, again, the way it concentrates the light. A little more of a diffuse focal point, I guess you could call it, on the catenary. Another comparison would be on a kitchen stove burner, so electric kitchen stove burner. The 2-foot dish would be anywhere from low to maybe 4 on a scale of 1 to 9. So the bottom third, and the low to maybe bordering medium low. And the 3-foot dish is more like the 5 to 7 range, and the medium to medium high. Alright, let's do this. As far as tools, just a drill, a jigsaw, and an optional Dremel, along with sandpaper, ruler, yardstick, pencil, and scissors. And here's the list. The first 3 are the wood, poster board, mirror stickers, and then 2 glues. Alright, super easy to do. Just hang up a piece of chain like this. That's 24 inches long on a 1/4 inch plywood. Apply some spray paint so it leaves like a shadow of where the chain was. Cut it down. I sanded and painted that first piece and then used that as a template and cut 5 more. So those are the 5. Then from there, just measure it and cut in half so you get 12 of them instead of 6. Then I quickly set it up. Then I took a scrap piece of 1/4 inch lumber, used a 1 1/4 inch hole saw, and drilled out a little round piece of wood like that. It's usually the scrap piece that you throw away when you're cutting a hole, but I used that for the centerpiece. Now let's grab the back base. That's 1/2 inch plywood, lay it down, drop it on, measure it, roughly a 30 by 30 inch square. We'll cut that down. Okay, now the bracer pieces. So I'm using 3/4 inch square wood dowel, measured about 1 inch. So we'll have a whole bunch of 1 inch cubes, like this. Next I decided to cut the corners off of the board. So measured 8 inches by 8 inches, and cut those off and laid it back out. Looks awesome. I like that a lot better. Alright, next just get some construction adhesive. I like liquid nails. Stuff works awesome. So pencil it out, put a bead of it down, and set the stuff down. That's all you gotta do. Alright, here's the actual procedure. This is what I'm actually doing. It's the very last one. Alright, then finally grab the blocks, couple of dots on each one, and then position them, and then hold it all down for like 10 seconds without moving. Press down firmly and hold it there. Perfect. All set. And this is the next day. Let it dry overnight sitting up there. Looks good. Now I'll do the poster board. Just cut it in triangles and affix it up there with Elmer's white glue. Pretty easy to do. And then let that dry overnight. And here it is the next morning. Looks good. Then add the other set of triangles with the same glue. And the centerpiece. And that's it. You're done. Alright, and finally the mirror. It's the last thing. So just grab your mirror stickers. That's a 16 pack, 12 by 12 inch. Stencil out the triangles. I just used pencil on the back like that. And then drop it on. Peel off the back, press it on easy, and then finally peel off the blue. And you're set. I let that dry overnight just to be sure that it was totally gonna hold. And it holded fine and looks great. Okay, and then the next day, just drop on the rest of them. Then cut out the center circle and drop it right there. And you're set. Totally done. By the way, just a quick note about the mirror. You might be tempted to try to just buy the aluminized mylar in a roll and cut it down in strips and use spray adhesive on the poster board. But long story short, I did a lot of experimenting with this on separate pieces of poster board, and every single time it was a total disaster, from it being wrinkly to not sticking and on and on. So do yourself a favor and just use those mirror stickers I used. Those are thicker plastic, they don't wrinkle, and there's a million advantages. So long story short, just don't use the rolled stuff. It's way too hard to do, pretty much impossible. By the way, speaking of impossible, I just showed you a series of pictures with a pan hanging on a drying rack on 2 hangers. Don't do that either. I was just messing around. The drying rack is great, it holds it at the right level, so that would be good, but make something a little more complex out of the hangers to hold your pan if you want to do that. Comes off there real easy.